आज का जो हमने जैसे लास्ट टाइम हमने जो क्लासेस किए तो हमने क्या क्या चैप्टर कंप्लीट किया। हमने पहला चैप्टर कंप्लीट किया कि आयात निर्यात होता क्यों है, क्योंकि हम जो काम करते हैं उसकी शुरुआत क्यों हुआ, कैसे। अरे आज तो मुझे इंग्लिश में बोलना था। तो सो व्हाट ऑल वी हैव कवर्ड टिल डेट, पहले बता देता हूँ। इंग्लिश में मैं बहुत ज़्यादा आई एम नॉट एट ऑल कंफर्टेबल, but because due to these people efforts, many of the overseas customer as well as many of the interstates like southern state people has requested me to take few classes in English also. Okay, so my English is not that good which I can take a class on that, but I'll try whatever possible with my capability that this session I'll take it in English. Okay, and as usual this is without preparation and anything, so there will be some mistakes, so that has to be excused from listener point of view and learner point of view. Okay, so what all subject which we have covered in last two sessions. The first was why export and import exist into the world. This was the first thing. Then we covered communication. See, because we are working into different boundaries. So India has a different boundary where we have a different language. Like here we are sitting people from 10 states, we all speak 10 different languages. Now we have to deal with 150 countries of the world. So how many languages will be there? So we covered communication. So first we covered why export import exists. Now if it exists, then there will be communication between the seas, overseas and everything. So there should be some common communication. So we covered communication. Then third, after communication, we covered what is the way to communicate. That was the Incoterm. What is the business communication of export and import? So business communication is Incoterm. And the last class we covered about the geography, like how the sea trade route works, why the India has certain advantage, what the China has certain advantage, why this trade is existing, why some goods is going from India, why the goods is coming to India. So basic trade routes we discussed in the second class. And now we are covering, today we will be covering on the taxation, because the taxation plays a very important role in any of the countries when we start working. So people should know how the taxation system of the country and how it impact or influence the export and import business. Okay, so before going to the taxation, we have to little bit understand what is the taxation system today we have. Loudly. GST. What is the full form of GST?
Goods and service tax.
Goods and
Service tax.
So this has been defined into one compact format. Any goods, any services, whether within country or outside country. So export does not mean only goods. Export can be services also. Like IT हो गया. So again there is a technology service is there. Then there can be so many type of services which can be exported as well. So the export happens not only the goods but also services. So service export we will cover in other chapters sometime, because it does not come into our right now working areas. So before this GST has started in India when 1st July 2017. We are all part of it. Like we were into the pre-GST era, so we have different taxation system. Then it has been shifted to GST. So we have seen the pre-GST era also and the post-GST era also. So there has been a lot of challenges. So why the GST came into this country? So there must be some requirement. We must be having certain system. Why we had to change the complete taxation system of the country? So the reason why we were changing, we have to go back that how the country works. Like after independence, what was the requirement, why the taxation system happens, why any country has to collect the tax, and what is the significance, and if the collection has happened, then how it is being utilized, how it is being distributed, why it is needed, how to take care of the people, how it works for the development of the country, how it works to take care of the even the foreign countries also, why we have to help foreign countries people. Sometimes we feel that we do not have that much capacity and we are helping some other country. So there is always external internal, so there is an external and internal factor. So let me go back to the pre-GST era. So pre-GST, so when there was no GST, that means before 1st July 2017. So before 2017, what was our taxation system? So the taxation system was considering, before that you have to come how the country works. So how the country works? Country has a federal structure. What do you mean by the federal structure? That the country will have a two-way of ruling the people or ruling the land. So what is the two-way? One is the central and another is the state. So there will be central and there will be state. So pre-GST era, and they both has their own responsibility, own power, and for putting collections of the taxes and everything. So what was the pre-GST era? These both were collecting their own taxes from the people for the goods and services with their own way of working. Like central government, we were collecting central tax, sales tax, central sales tax. Then central government was collecting service tax, and then few more taxation like this. Then the state was coming, then state was also collecting his own tax. So this was like state sales tax, there was some VAT, and this is LBT. So every state, so both state and center having the power to put their taxation system on the people. Okay, and they were all having their own way of doing it with the percentage and everything. So what the GST made, what they did, GST combined all the taxation system so that the things become simple. Now how it becomes simple? Now let me tell you how it was working earlier. Earlier, like when you are sending a goods from one state to the another state, so you have to follow that state which is your goods are going, and from the state which it is going. So every state had their own taxation system. So every state had their own form. So there were ample amount of form this, form that, form this for this. Now for claiming also something, they had a VAT also. So there will be VAT system. So if the goods is going, just for an example, from Maharashtra to Punjab, so it will cover 3 states. So it will leave from Maharashtra, then it will go to maybe Rajasthan, Gujarat, and then it will go to Punjab and all. So while going, this transporter will update every state which is crossing a different form and everything. So there was a very complicated system, very complicated. And one mistake, without of anything, people were penalizing. Then the worst part, that in India, before GST era, people did not have boundaries. You can travel from Maharashtra to Gujarat. You don't need a passport or you don't need anything. You just need a ticket. But goods were not allowed to travel like this. They had to go with lot of documentation, lot of things you have to file, this and that. Maharashtra state, then you have to go to Maharashtra and upload. Then it is Punjab, then you go to Punjab, then Tamil Nadu. So this was a very complicated. So for the goods, there were so many boundaries. Just for an example, India has 32 states. So there were 32 boundary inside for the goods. So now you are understanding that if a goods has to travel, they has to go with the boundary. उनके लिए सारी जगह पे उनका passport लग जाता था for the goods to travel. Now, this is what the best advantage happened with the GST, that all these has been abolished, and what came into picture, that is Only one nation, one tax, and this was the slogan, and they made it as a GST, where no boundaries is required. The goods can go from any place to any place with a very simple documentation of generating eBay bill, which I will show you how it works actually. So now you understand what was the importance, why it was required, why this tax becomes so simple. Now it was not so easy for them to implement. So let me go back to this GST. That GST council was formed in the year 2006. Because we have a very less knowledge, we feel like everything has been done by one government or something. It is not like that. The formation of GST council formed in 2006, and that time they had decided that by 2010 they will bring GST in our country. But somehow GST was, as I told you, that every center and state had their own power to collect the tax. So in this bargain, state was feeling that if the GST comes, we will not get so much of taxes. So we will not have so much of money. So we will not able to utilize that. So state has their own reservation. So state was not able to fulfill. So center was also in trouble. So they were not having that much power to implement that thing. Now when this BJP government which came into the full power, so they had this ability to convince and all, and then they formed different format. They bring a common format that okay, state will also get some money and the center will also come. So let us, because we both are collecting money, so with again we will get both into GST. So they divided GST into four format. The first, if the goods is traveling from one state to the another state, what will be the tax called? What will be the tax? Very simple. Any goods which is going from one state to the another state, that will be called as IGST. So IGST means going interstate. That means you have to charge the full GST amount on the bill, like when you have the other thing, and the center has collect all the money, because GST is based on the other system of the before taxes, that was based on the source origin taxation system. Origin means like the goods were going from Maharashtra, so Maharashtra was getting all the tax and everything. But GST became the reverse of it. GST became the consumer based tax. This is also you can say consumer based. What do you mean by consumer based? That means the consumer will get the advantage little bit. Earlier the consumer were not getting the advantage. Like Bihar is buying goods from Maharashtra, but all the taxes is being collected in Maharashtra, and Bihar is not getting any benefit of it. Now GST has been made a little bit different, that I am the consumer, so I also should get benefit of it. So what this center did, center made it an IGST. That means center will collect every money because it's going to the other state. Consumer is going Bihar, consumer is going Gujarat, or consumer is going West Bengal. So center will collect all the money, and in between he will divide. So that is the center responsibility. That's the reason sometimes now you are hearing that Punjab will complain that I am not getting my taxes, I am not getting my payment is with the central government. So the power has gone to the center to collect. So here what will be the interstate, then whatever will be the slab. What is the slab? When the GST came, they put into slab 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. Okay, understood? So IGST means very simple, interstate, and the collection will go to the central government. Okay, now then state was also collecting the taxes, so the state has to be also given the benefit of it. So central government said that okay, state tax will remain into the state. So how it will remain into the state? Now he has divided the state tax into CGST and SGST. Now you can understood with the same simple term S, C and S, it will remain into the center, this will remain into the state. So they says, okay, whichever is being sold inside the state will be divided into the 50-50 partnership, 50-50. So 50-50 state and 50% to the center. So now this is the benefit got to the state. Then the state thought, okay, we are also getting the tax. So when you are putting this, then what you will do? You will divide by 2. Simple. So 50% will go to the center and 50% will go to the state GST. So one is IGST, one is CGST, SGST, and the third is India has one more kind of a central ruled state, that is called Union Territory. So Union, you are understanding with the word Union Territory. So Union Territory will be, it is ruled by the center in the federal structure. So all the Union Territory will have the UT. Simple. So we are not focusing much on the UT because UT is very, very small, Union Territories of our country, and businesses are also not very huge into that. So we will be focusing only on IGST, CGST, SGST. So I am very clear about how it is working, what was the pre-era and how it works, and now after GST how it changed. So now it became GST, then in GST this become full, and then it has been divided into the 2 parts. So when you are billing interstate, okay, so when you are billing interstate, what we are doing? We are dividing into 2 parts, CGST and SGST. CGST and SGST, and this is the UT. So this is a simple way of understanding the taxation. अभी समझ में आ गया, बहुत साधारण भाषा में.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to visit www.contaco.in.